Your 20s is a very interesting time. A lot of us are handling disposable income for the first time from having a corporate job. And quite frankly, when we're that young, we don't really know how to handle money correctly and we spend money on stupid things. Now that I'm older and hopefully wiser, I want to help you make better financial decisions by showing you 5 things that you shouldn't waste your money on in your 20s and what you should buy instead. But just to be clear, this video isn't about not drinking Starbucks or not going out to eat, because I believe these little treats are essential to our happiness and quality of life. This is more about bigger purchases that add no value to your life in the long term. Number one money waster for 20-somethings is luxury car leases. While it might be enticing to lease a 5 Series BMW for $700 per month, you need to understand that at the end of that lease, you don't own the car and you're out $25K US dollars. When you're just starting out in your career and you're trying to build up your net worth, you should get a reliable, maybe slightly used Japanese car because they cost little to nothing to maintain and they will get you from point A to point B with no issues. Personally, I still drive the same Toyota that I bought back in 2017 with cash when I first graduated college, and now it only costs me about $200 every 6 months for oil changes. This car doesn't exactly win me cool points with my friend group, and it's not the most fun to drive, but at the end of the day, I don't have a monthly payment, which allows me to save significantly more every month. My dream car is a Porsche 911, and technically I can afford it now, but I'm saving for a bigger house because I plan on having kids in a couple years. So I gotta delay that for a little bit, but I would never lease it because that's just like throwing money away. Number 2 biggest money wasters for 20-somethings are luxury goods like handbags and watches. Don't get me wrong, I think you should treat yourself and buy luxury goods to commemorate special occasions. As a matter of fact, I bought this Rolex when I turned 30 and reached a certain number in my net worth and feel like I have accomplished enough in my career. You might want to buy yourself something when you reach a certain milestone, and that's completely understandable. What I'm talking about is more so buying luxury goods with your disposable income every couple of months. In order to understand why this is a waste of money, you need to understand the concept of the hedonic treadmill. This concept states that after a positive event happens, in this case buying a new luxury good, eventually your baseline happiness returns to what it was before. So in this case, you might get a dopamine hit after you buy a new bag, but 1 or 2 weeks later, you're not better off than before you bought the bag. So what should you spend your money on instead of buying luxury goods? The answer here is travel. Traveling is very exciting and it brings you lasting happiness because you'll be able to go on adventures that you'll never be able to in your hometown. You can learn about new cultures and you can try their cuisine. Over the years, I've made some luxury purchases that are questionable, that no longer bring any value to me, but I've never regretted one trip that I took. The number 3 biggest money waster for 20-somethings is any kind of get-rich-quick courses. If you're on YouTube, chances are you've seen an ad where some guy is claiming that if you just buy my course in blank, you'll make 20K, 50K, 100K per month if you just put in the work. And a lot of the times, these people don't have a record of doing the thing that they're trying to sell you on, and their entire business model is just selling courses to people like you and me. I kind of learned the hard way. Back in 2019, I spent $800 on a course on Amazon FBA. Luckily, I broke even on my venture. I actually made about $2,000, but then after you account for how much my time is worth, that was a lot of wasted time. And later it turned out the guy that sold me the course never had a successful Amazon FBA business. So instead of buying a course on one of these groundbreaking business ideas, you should actually invest in your own self-education. Right? Learn a skill, get educated on data analytics, get educated on digital marketing. Upskill yourself and make yourself more valuable in the marketplace instead of trying to get rich from someone's Fugazi course, which is most likely just generic information anyway. Now, I don't want to say that everybody selling courses are scammers because that's not true, but if you want to buy a course, you should do due diligence on the person. For example, if you want to buy a course on e-commerce, right? What's this person's track record as an e-commerce operator? Does this person have multiple successful companies to their name and maybe exited to private equity? Or are they just showing you Shopify screenshots with big numbers that are made up? The number 4 biggest money waster for 20-somethings is really cheap, poorly made products. There's a saying that goes, when something is too good to be true, it usually is. Why do you think that thing is so cheap? Because the manufacturer cut corners to save on cost. You think you're getting a good deal, but the thing will break so quickly you end up spending more money to replace it. And this can apply to so many things. It applies to clothes, cars, furniture, just name it, right? Back in college, there was this shirt that I really wanted from J. Crew, but I saw the same thing at H&M for 20 bucks cheaper. So I ended up going with the one from H&M. But then the shirt was no longer wearable after 2 washes, and I ended up going back to J. Crew to buy the shirt that I should have bought to begin with. So I beg you, don't cheap out. Focus on quality, because in the long term, you're gonna end up saving more money. The fifth and final money waster for 20-somethings is overly expensive designer clothes. I know. I said focus on quality when you buy things and don't cheap out. But you also got to realize that after a certain price point, you get very little, if any, value for the additional money that you spend. I came to this conclusion after spending money on 3 different designer items in the last 2 years. So the first one is a hoodie from Hugo Boss. This cost me roughly $200, but after the novelty wore off, I realized my Kirkland signature hoodie, which is from Costco and cost $25, is more comfortable. The second thing that I bought is a spring cardigan from Moncler, which ran me about $1,300, and I don't wear it nearly as much as my Lululemon jacket, which is roughly 20% of the price, because the Moncler jacket has to be dry cleaned every other time that I wear it, and I was afraid of getting it dirty because it's such a fragile and expensive clothing item. The third thing that I bought is a t-shirt from Brunello Cucinelli. I wanted to try it because there's a lot of hype about Mark Zuckerberg only wearing this brand and get all his t-shirts tailored from them. At the end of the day, it's a nice t-shirt, but nothing makes it significantly better than a nice t-shirt that you can get for $50, $60. And I'll tell you a very interesting encounter that I had when I visited one of Brunello Cucinelli's top competitors to look at some loafers. Now, I don't want to name the brand because I want to protect the sales rep's privacy because he was very honest with me, but I was going into the store to look at loafers that cost about $1,000, and the sales rep just straight up told me that these shoes are not very durable and they're not meant for everyday use. They were initially used by rich people when they go on boats as a status symbol. At the end of the day, that's what high-end designer clothes are, a status symbol. And as long as you understand that before you spend your money, that's okay. Just know you're not paying for quality. And at this stage in my life, I feel like a lot of the designer clothes that I bought are a waste of money. And that's it. Thank you for watching 5 money wasters to avoid in your 20s. What do you think? Do you agree or do you have a different opinion? Let me know in the comments. All right, until next time, this is your friend Oliver signing off. Take care.